theme of the week is mold. I will change the name of the channel to Miro and the Mold, and it would still probably be better name than Basie Plants. Can you tell that I don't like that name? Regrets, regrets, for years, regrets. Thank you all for joining me here today at this plant shelf, aka the plant library. I don't know how to call this space, and we're going to select several random Hoyas that we can work on. And I say several random Hoyas because, well, quite a lot of them need some work, so we can really just pick any, for example, this one, and I know that I need to repot this one, so might as well do it today. This is a type of Callistophila, I believe. I don't remember the accession number, but I will leave it on the bottom of the screen. This one has been requiring a repot for a very long time. Oh, look at that mealybug. Crushed. Anyway, we're going to work, for example, on that plant. I have been working on several videos this week, and I'm not sure if they're going to come out before or after this one, but I've noticed a couple of plants with some issues, so we are going to work on those as well. And these videos are a little bit late, and I think Patreons on my Discord know this. Who are not on my Discord, they don't know this, but I have also mentioned this in the video, I believe, and I will also mention it now, but like very mysteriously, because it is going to be content at one point, but I have taken upon myself a project that is potentially too much of a bite for me. Maybe it's too, I don't know. We'll see. I think it's gonna work out well, but this project has derailed my schedule a little bit. So obviously the last week and a half when it comes to posting content hasn't been that successful. I will say though, it's been very successful in terms of recording. I've been recording almost every single day. We started out November with really like big plans and even bigger promises, as I always do. And all of that is great, but my mind couldn't help but wonder, what would happen if I take on a project that is entirely not a priority and I make it one, I make it the top priority, and I derail everything else. Welcome to my brain. I'm glad you made it. This is quite a negative behavioral pattern that I have, which I honestly think is caused by me making a plan that I'm not 100% down with, but I still proceed to kind of carry it out, gaslighting myself that I can do it. And most of the time I do a good job, but as we approach the finish line, I think, I lose that initial spark, I lose the energy, and I just find something else to do and then blame that thing for failing, which is what I'm doing right now. It's not my fault, even though I have complete control of everything here. It's not my fault that the last week and a half in November has been crappy when it comes to my upload schedule. And by that, I think even crappy is generous because there's been none. It's not my fault. It's this other project that I'm doing. But who selected that project? Oh no, it's me. And I think this is a combination of planning fallacy, perfectionism, intention, behavior gap, a bit of self-sabotage, and procrastination, right? A bit of that as well. So congratulations, your behavioral pattern is complex. What do I win for this? Is there an award? No? Okay. Less exciting if there isn't an award. All undetectable, jokes aside, changing negative behavioral patterns like this one can be sometimes a little bit challenging, and sometimes you may need outside help. And that is why I'm happy to say that the paid partner of this video is BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform with the mission to help starting therapy easier, because taking that first step towards therapy can be a big challenge for a lot of people. And it doesn't need to be. They connect you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen to you, help you out, and give you unbiased advice. All you need to do is fill out a quick questionnaire and you will be matched with a therapist as soon as possible. And if for some reason that therapist is not the right fit for you, it is very easy to switch to another one with no additional cost to you. With over 7,000 reviews and 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is truly a platform that you can trust. And for everyone watching, you can click on the link in the description or the link that should appear here. Editing Miro, take note. BetterHelp.com/BasiePlants. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/BasiePlants, and you will get 10% off of your first month of therapy. Thank you, BetterHelp, for being the paid partner of this video. Thank you all for listening, and we will move to a different corner of this room so we can select a bit more plants. We also have plant mail. Well, not plant mail, plant supply mail, which did happen a couple of days before this, but I'm going to insert that footage now. Oh, it's very unhinged. Ha! The plant mail is in, well, it's not plant mail, it's plant supplies. As we can tell, my hair is wet. I'm air drying my hair. If you have seen the video that came before this one, or maybe it's gonna come after this one, I'm absolutely unsure at this point. I just washed my hair. I'm recording several videos in a go, which is never a good idea, but here we are, and the hair needs to be air dried so it can look normal. We have plenty of supplies that should be useful for the repot in today's video, and I also got some stuff for plant care. So we're just going to unbox this so I can show you what I got and tell you why I got it. All right, so something smells, which makes me think that maybe the fertilizer got spilled, or is it maybe it's the Vanda water. I got some orchid bark. This is by Orchid Focus. It's not the preferred bark. I typically either order bark from Equa or from SYBOTANICA, for which I have a code. You can find it here. I find that SYBOTANICA's bark is on par with Equa. This is not as great, but I needed bark really quickly, and I will need at least week and a half to get the other bark. So I just went with this for some of the plants that I'm gonna repot. It's good enough. Now I'm remembering I forgot to buffer cocoa husk again. Well, great job. I got 4. I also think SYBOTANICA and Equa are cheaper than this. This is more expensive. Though I think when I factor in the shipping for Equa, plus I have to pay for someone to essentially import that, I think that ends up being more expensive. So that's why I went with this for now. It's going to work out. It's not terrible. It's just not preferred. And then we have some feed here. So let's take a look. I'm trying this for the first time. It's called Terra Vega. This is by Kana, and you know I've used some of their products and I really like them. I use their product to buffer my cocoa husk, and I use Rhizotonic, which I got again. Fantastic. People have said very good things about this product, so I decided to get it for my begonias, but also for my aeroids. They didn't have a smaller package. I typically try with something that's half the size or even quarter of this size to see if I like it, but this is what they had. It's a single component fertilizer, complete nutrient for fast growing plants during the growing phase, specifically developed for pots and soil, for growing in pots and soil. It's actually not very strong either, NPK 313. I will be using this for begonia and see how it works. It's probably gonna last me a long time because those begonias don't need to be watered all the time. I might actually try this on Hoya and see how it is. Switch between this and the rain mix. It was pretty pricey, about 20 euros for this. Then I got Rhizotonic, which I love. It helps grow healthier, better roots. It's a powerful root enhancer and natural stress reliever. I love this. I've tested it and it worked really great on my Hoyas that were stressed. It's also quite expensive in my opinion. It's also 20 euros for 500 mils. Or actually it's even more, maybe it's 30, close to 30 euros here. But I do love it and I think it's worth it. I still have some left. I'm not really sure when I ordered this, but we are at about here. This is 250 ml. I can probably check, but I think this is maybe 2 months of use. And we all know how irregularly I water, but I use this for bandas, for Hoyas, whenever I water, and I've been having great results. So it's definitely worth investing if you want to, of course. And then I got this to try out. I used by Plagroon, I'm out of that, I used Pure Zim, so I decided just to go with complete Kana stuff, right? So this is enzyme preparation for breaking down dead roots. So this is supposed to help speed up the breakdown of dead stuff in your potting mixes, assuming the purpose of that is so they don't acidify your mix by breaking down too slowly. It says it's an enzyme preparation consisting of a mixture of different enzymes and plant extracts that promote the breaking down of dead roots and development of microorganisms. It prepares your substrate for use or reuse. I'll just report back on these two, on Terra Vega and Kana Zim, but I can say that Rhizotonic is very good. So if you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. I'm not making you use anything. And that whole shenanigan cost me 90 euros, which is lovely. Plants are so expensive. Don't even give myself 90 euros for food. I'm joking, obviously. I have a Hoya that I mentioned in my video. As I said, it's gonna come out before or after this. Something's wrong with this Hoya lacunosa. It's species SR 2009-050 from Cameron Highland. We're going to check if she has root rot. My guess is that she does. Very nice foliage though. Can we focus? Hopefully that was focused. We're gonna get to see more of her. And then we have a Hoya here that I think is losing the roots. Well, I think she lost the roots over here. So we're probably just going to propagate this one. I think this is AH041 or 49. I can't remember, I have to look, but she is losing the leaves. That's not great. So I'm gonna take her out and see, but I'm just pretty sure these roots are rotten, and it was about time. She suffered. I don't love that we have to restart her, but we do. And then I think that's 3 plants, which may be enough. And then we have an orchid here that bloomed, and she has a moldy mix. So I think we're gonna try to take care of that as well. We're gonna talk about that. She is branching out now, so we will go through that pot. I do believe I have something else that I wanted to do. I kept a mental note, but that is gone. The mental note has left the room. I'm really not trying to hold you here forever. Even though these videos sometimes get very long, believe me, I don't want to hold you here forever. Or maybe I do, I don't know. We'll think about it. Okie dokie. I have prepared myself for my inevitable fate, which does include drinking coffee. Finally, there is coconut milk, like heavy coconut milk in a Lidl, which is my guilty pleasure. And I get to enjoy it with my coffee. I love it. So creamy and rich. Worth it. Anyway, I'm not sure what we should start off with. I think with the cutting of the Hoya, I'm going to check the roots on both of the lacunosa and the one that I forgot exactly what it is. And if the roots are crap, I actually think I'm just gonna cut the one because she's bare, and you know I don't like bare stems. It's a very pretty Hoya. It hasn't grown in a moment. So I think no matter what the case is with the roots, I think I should just cut it, which is really not a shame even, because I'm not gonna stand this. See, that's gonna go. Bye. And the leaf on the bottom. So I'm just gonna cut it here. Okay, there is still some sap. Yeah, there is root rot. I did expect that. I think I'm going to try to keep the base. This was in pawn, and I tried to transition it. Clearly, that didn't work out. So I'm just gonna cut majority of the stuff here. And she did look fine for a while, but clearly she isn't. I'm just randomly cutting the roots. I want to get rid of all of this root ball. I do see that she did try to grow fresh roots, and she probably, because this didn't fail right away, I assume she did succeed in the transition. However, I probably messed up the watering. When I say probably, I mean for sure. I have been meaning to restart this one for a while, so again, I'm not super sad, and I have faith that she's gonna be okay. You know what, let's just cut everything here. Obviously, this would have been better if I restarted it while there were leaves, you know, when she dropped the first leaf, but I was sort of hoping that it's not that serious. Yeah, the stem isn't rotted, it's just dry. But there is still sap, so let's see if we can get something out of this. Maybe we can. Which I will do with the rest of them as well, because I don't really need more than this. When it comes to this top part, how do I want to do this? I'm going to remove the peduncles. And the reason for that is because this Hoya has struggled with mealybugs for a while, and I was gonna do it anyway. This I'm just gonna chop into two. Maybe we get something out of that. I typically don't do this. I typically don't save that stuff, but I'm willing to do it this time. I think we can leave that as a singular cutting. I will say I'm a little bit annoyed because that's very unbalanced. Like that would be balanced. So I think I'm actually going to pot these together. I don't really plan to sell it, even if it was healthy. I mean, it is healthy. It just, we removed the source of the mealybugs. Ooh. Yum, rot. We're gonna let that dry out a little bit while we move on to the next one. So the next one, I'm just gonna show those leaves. This one, very waterlogged. They started to fall off. So we definitely knew something was up. Some of them look a little bit cooked. So I'm just gonna check the roots on that lacunosa. For that, I need to move you a little bit so you can see. Where is she? She's somewhere behind me, isn't she? God forbid I rotate my body and actually find it. So I didn't water it yesterday, and the mix is not that wet. We do see some, I mean, we see a lot of roots. Now, with these, it's a little bit hard to tell if this is rotten. I can tell that these are on this other side. She is hydrated, but just because your Hoya is hydrated doesn't mean that she doesn't have root rot. So we are going to check. I suspect some of these are good, but from what I can tell, a lot of them seem not to be. And this is one of those scenarios, again, where I watered normally and she was growing really well, and then I stopped watering. And then she dried out. It is a beautiful plant, and I don't want to lose it. However, I'm not very happy that I'm restarting it either. Maybe I can make like a nicer pot. What's happening? A little bit annoyed by my trellising here. She suffered mites in the past, which is still visible in the petioles. It's really, really visible on the back. You can tell. That's like, she's a mighty girl. Oh yeah, those roots are nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Wow, this is bone dry in the middle. I think some of this is okay, but I honestly have zero patience to go through this. Yes, because most of this is rotten, but some of the roots are alive, which is why she managed to remain hydrated or to appear at least. But yeah, obviously the reason why she started to drop the leaves is, as I said a million times before, there isn't enough root mass to support all the vegetative parts above the ground. So, goodbye. I mean, these are worth keeping. Actually, they're not. Who cares? I love this. Wow. So let's cut here. Now, I'm not gonna save this. I do have a dilemma now. How do I want to root this plant? And by that, I mean in how many cuttings I want to cut it so she looks aesthetically pleasing. I don't really think Lacunosa looks all that great when the cuttings are long. I think it looks better when Lacunosa has a bunch of smaller cuttings in the pot and then she sort of grows into it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's try several things. First, let's cut here. I think that can be like a nice cutting. Let's trust the process here. What a beautiful color. Like, can you see that? Just beautiful. Even though this is a Lacunosa that I don't like, this type of Lacunosa annoys me. It annoys me because they have such thick stems. I'm thinking about a pot with small cuttings. I don't know what I did there. Not sure why I did that, but I have just cut those into a bunch of small cuttings. They're gonna be fine. I'm gonna keep all these pots and wash them thoroughly. Not now, because we have more work to do. I have had just so much success rooting in that mix of, oh, my hands are sticky, in that peaty mix. So I think I might choose that. The only issue is I don't think I have it. I wish I labeled it so I knew what this was, or maybe it's this. I definitely don't like the mix that I repotted the Hoyas in with a bunch of stuff in the video before, because that got mold. I have a Hoya mix here, my own. We're going to use this for the repot, my mix with bark and pumice, a little bit of moss. One really should start labeling one's mixes. I think I'm gonna put Lacunosas into these two small pots, and then in a bigger pot I think I'm going to do these, and I will need one more for the plant we're about to repot. I need more pots than that, but I currently don't have the pots, so you will just have to imagine me placing these sticks in a potting mix. I'm also now remembering I do need to work on that orchid. We're gonna do that last. I'm just gonna show that to you. This is in the mix in which it arrived. This orchid was in plenty of my videos in the back. It's a Phalaenopsis with a giant flower, and I do think it's a Sogo-Euclidean. I think that might be the name. I will write what I think it is. There is no confirmation. It just got done blooming. There is a little bit of mold in this, which we don't adore. Like, for example, you can definitely see here. It did look worse. Oh, there's a mushroom growing. Hello, baby mushroom. Let's zoom that in. Let's get the mushroom on the camera. Hi. She's so cute. It doesn't smell terribly, but... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's zoom in again. Oh, you can see that. Mold, mold, mold. So because we're not a fan of mold, we are going to sort that out. I do feel like I should clean this up before proceeding to the Hoya, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to pile on the mess. In my Patreon Discord, I was saying I was gonna repot this Hoya, and I think it might have been in September of 2024. Might have been August of 2024. I'm on time. I'm not making them, it's not 2025. This was due for a repot a long time ago. And she really could have been much bigger plant if I did repot it back then, but I didn't. So we're doing that now. It's never too late. But it's been a challenge to keep her watered because of how long she stayed in a small pot and then in pure cocoa husk. I don't think the roots are in terrible shape. We'll see. It's also very annoying. This is not stable at all. You know what? That doesn't look terrible at all. I expected much worse root system. However, I don't think I can do much here in terms of removing this cocoa husk. So I will just try to loosen it up a bit, but yeah, we're just gonna have to pray that this root ball grows into the mix surrounding it. There is a little bit of rot towards the end, but I would say overall she looks quite good. So we're just gonna plump her into a size up. Before we do that, we are going to do some cleanup here. Magic. Cleanup is done. So, fresh, right? Like, your boy came prepared. I came prepared for this. So we're just gonna proceed with this one. Oh no, I forgot zip ties. Darn it! I just said I was prepared. Now, I do have an issue. I don't think I have the tape that I would like to use to protect the bottom of this. Like I did with this one, I just put that electrical tape and then the trellis. It also helps the trellis stay in place. So let me fetch that too. I'm going to take a short break. And by break, I mean I'm going to search for the stuff that I need. All right, so I found my electrical tape. If you are here for the first time, this is what I do to sort of protect the ends of these bamboo trellises because of course they're prone to rot. And we can see that this one has started to degrade. I have never taken out the bamboo trellises like these and checked if my plan or my thing really works. I do hope it does. Maybe one day we're gonna check. So all I really do is get a piece of this and wrap it around. This one is a little bit nasty, but it's going to work. And by nasty, I mean it has a bit of my hair on the side. Well, don't know how that got in there. I don't only wrap it around, but I will also put it on the bottom like so to make sure it's completely protected. Obviously, this works much better if your bamboo trellis is dry. This one is a little bit damp, but I think it's still going to work out. Now, we do have to be gentle with this one because I've had several of these snap on me, and they only snap when they are in this mildly rotten state. And I typically just see it's going to be submerged by this much, so I will go a little bit higher. There are probably many other ways that you can protect the ends of the bamboo trellises. I don't know why they're not selling them with some sort of a protection or coating. Maybe someone else is and I just don't have access to those. But I think this should be a thing. Also, if anyone is watching, don't try to steal this patent from me. All right, that's good. Oh no, I may not have enough because I need thinner zip ties and I think I used them all up. I typically use this smaller zip tie, but I'm out of those. And to make your life easier, put in the zip tie first. And then this also works great if you want to hang your Hoya, because I have several Hoyas in pots hanging like this by the trellis. It's really genius. There we go. This bark is not very big. I think it's actually the same like this bark. It looks like the same size bark actually. Maybe this one has a little bit larger pieces, so this could be from Aqua. Okay. You're gonna finally get a decent pot. See, good things happen. I mean, this is like nothing short of a miracle that I'm finally working on this one. There's maybe a little bit too much pumice here. I think I need to put this in a vessel of some sort, like this, and just add a little bit more bark. I made it a little bit pumice heavy, which is fine, but today I'm not feeling like pumice heavy. We do have a gap here, so let's make sure that we get some mix in there. And there we go. And now we can just trellis her back. She needs a nice cover pot, which I will sort out. I don't have any cute cover pots to put her in right now, but maybe tomorrow I can go and look. The reason why I didn't put this one in self-watering, I don't know. It's not that I don't like self-watering, but I don't know, maybe I'm not a big fan of the pots that I have. Maybe that's why. But I just decided I don't want to put this in self-watering. I have several Hoyas that are not in self-watering, and they're also doing great. Not all Hoya need to go, nor not all Hoya will like it necessarily, I find. So, yeah, but this one is so pretty. Very rarely will I, this is a lie. I was gonna say, very rarely do I like Hoyas with veiny leaves nowadays, but that's an absolute lie. There's so many veiny leaf Hoyas that I want. Even though I said I was not gonna get them anymore, but I'm a big fat liar. The underside is really pretty. I did get this as Affinity Meredithy, but I don't think that's Affinity Meredithy. This is Callistophila. And by that I mean Finlaysoni. I am wondering now if I should root this Hoya in my Hoya mix or in PT mix, but I think I'm gonna just root it in my Hoya mix. I think that's best. I'm just gonna put all of it in here. Ooh, well, that's going great. All right, and then this one can go here. Did I even pay attention where the holes are for the trellis? There we go. So I'm just going to lightly water this with Rhizotonic, to be frank, and maybe I will bag it and put it back where it was. We'll see if I can find bag big enough. I do have some 6-liter Ziploc bags, so if I can get that to fit in here or over this, that would be great. Lacunosa, though, I think we can do in this mix, whatever that mix is, and whatever this mix is. I'm just gonna combine those two. Lol. Who knows? Life is a mystery. Do I even need to combine it, is my question. Maybe one of them is enough. Let's see. No, I think we will be missing a little bit, so let's just add. These are obviously not the same mixes. One of them even has vermiculite, so I think one of them was probably for begonia, but I think it's gonna work out for this purpose. There we go. Okay. I can see that some of these leaves on the back also don't look great. Like you can see something's wrong with this leaf. I will proceed though. I'll just try to arrange them so they look cute. Well, that's not very cute. So. Let's see if we can get these other cuttings in the other pot. This one is a little bit longer. Okay. I'm not in love with all of these. Yeah, this is not super cute. It's not cute. We will just have to wait until she grows a bit. I think I prefer it when they're smaller. Prefer this. That looks cuter. So let's do another, well actually no, I'm not gonna do another cleanup. We're going to do cleanup after we take this orchid out. I don't know if I have a pot that's big enough for this orchid. Maybe this one. Oh, that's not, nope. No, no, no. We will just have to clean this pot very thoroughly and put it back in there. I'm not repotting this orchid because she needs a bigger pot. I'm repotting it because I don't want mold in the mix. That's the only reason. And I will also take this out because it's moldy as well. And maybe I will put it back, maybe I won't. She's starting to grow new roots, so this is perfectly fine time to repot it. There is a new branch. It's branching here. Can we focus? Thank you very much. It also has 2 more branches here. I wish they started to branch out as well, but yeah. And I don't see a new flower spike coming, which doesn't mean it's not gonna. So we're just gonna take it out. Oof. Oh goodness, that is actually a lot more mold once you take it out. And this is cocoa husk, very little bark. There's actually cocoa peat, some rotten roots. I think the roots in the middle are rotten. Maybe they're not. Oh, my world. Okay. I really like to repot phalaenopsises pretty quickly after I get them, because the state of many of them is not great. There is the sponge, the cocoa plug in the middle, and everything around that doesn't look great. I don't know, do they even buffer these? I really doubt that. It seems like it burns the roots. Just doesn't look very good, does it? Sometimes, you know, Phalaenopsis, when it doesn't receive light, when the roots don't receive light, they will be like yellowish. But this is also brown, which really just gives off burn vibes. I think I'm going to let this dry out a little bit. Now this is a big Phalaenopsis, so we might be able to just put it in bark with not much moss. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. When they're smaller, I do add bark and moss, a little bit more moss, but this one I think can take having less moss. Oh, that dropped. I'm being very gentle, so obviously something was wrong with that. If it dropped, I do not love this mix. You know, I understand coco coir is very affordable, so that's why they use it, but should we always choose the most affordable thing? I don't know. As a Taurus, I'm inclined to say no. We absolutely should not choose the most affordable thing. However, I will tell you one thing. This, in terms of how bad these roots can be, this is pretty good. I will just trim some rot that I see. Very, very light rot. Like stuff like this. I will just trim, and I always leave a little bit on because you don't want to cut into the healthy tissue. Now I will say one more thing. Sterilize your scissors, etc. You know, do all that. I'm not doing all that because, well, I don't always follow the rules. This root is definitely rotten. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough. We're not going to overdo it. It's just like a light trim. Really, this is nothing. I typically have to take a lot more of these roots off. So I'm going to let it dry out a little bit. And while I do that, I'm just going to put it off to the side so I can make sure my floor gets filthy. While I do that, I will thoroughly wash this pot because I just don't have a pot of this size. Oh, it's cracked too. Well, what are you going to do? It's not going to fit in any other pot that I have. I'd have to. I never order pots of this size, but I should. clearly. Actually, I might have some, I'm gonna look. I might have a singular pot that's this big. More on that after another break. The master of cleanup returns, once again to demonstrate these amazing skills of cleanup. Ha ha ha. Ooh. So fast and so efficient. We will repot the Phalaenopsis into the same pot. I cleaned it up. I thought I had something of a similar size or even bigger, but unfortunately that was not the case. For this, I will use my Hoya mix. So that means I have to kick out this from the pot or from the bowl. I don't really know how much of the mix I will need, so now there is some pumice in there, and I don't mind that. I have been using pumice on orchids before. I will add a little bit more bark. And I will not be adding too much moss. I will just add a layer on the bottom. So when I eventually do water, it can still wick a little bit. Now the most unfun part is placing the orchid into the pot and hoping it fits again. Orchids tend to have this tendency when you want to return them to the same size pot, they don't want to fit. I would like to get some of these aerial roots in there as well, but I'm not going to force them in because we don't want to break them. So just a little bit. Perfect. It will be a little bit higher, I think, than it was, but that's okay. And then there are a couple of aerial roots, and this is a great thing. A couple of new ones growing, so they can go right into that mix. So we just proceed and try to get potting mix in there. I do have an orchid repot on Patreon, I believe. I don't think I've done many here. I just always think people are not going to be all that interested in orchids, and honestly, your loss. They are much more grateful to be in our collection compared to Hoya. I typically do a top layer of moss, and the reason why I do that is so the moisture can stay longer in the pot, so then I don't have to water as much. Now, very rudely, this orchid decided to eat up all of my mix, which typically I wouldn't mind, but I am running very low on moss. Oh, that aerial root got out. Don't you want to be part of this story? Ooh, I think I broke that. Cracked a little bit. Cracks will happen. Cracks are part of life. Big part of life. Why are you still here? I will use this moldy skewer to get some of that mix into the pot. We do have gaps. I don't want to damage the growing root tips, so I will just very gently move some, because you know we will get with orchids, because of the nature of the roots, large air gaps like that. Now that's a bit too big. We don't want. I was gonna say something that's not appropriate probably, though you're all adults. And some of y'all don't like the language, but I don't care. I mean, you know, it's a gaping hole, so we gotta fill it out. Which is what I'm gonna have people unsubscribing every single time I post, someone leaves, whatever. We can do without you. Goodbye. Oh, come on. Get in there. All right. I think we're gonna be ready very soon for that moss layer. I mean, I probably should have added the moss layer before this stage, but I have this tendency of overfilling my pot and then building a moss mountain on top, as we have seen, or as you will see in the video. Just gonna hydrate a little bit of moss here. This is just regular tap water. I'm not going to water this orchid right away. She is well hydrated. She doesn't need to be watered. And you know, in the orchid community, this is sort of the practice with a lot of the growers. You don't really water the orchid right away after a repot because we do tend to create these cracks in the roots when we repot, and you just need to leave some time for them to heal. That way pathogens don't get in. You don't really want to water right away with such a fresh wound, right? Now, did I water in the past right after repot? Absolutely. Absolutely. And all of the orchids were fine. I think I just don't want to water today. I don't want to make another batch of my watering stuff. So I will leave it for midweek when I'm supposed to water. Then again, I just remembered I actually have to water the Hoyas that I repotted. But I still will not water the orchid. I will not water the orchid. It's fine. She was watered. You saw, it was wet. So that's, that's fine. She has enough water. So we're just packing this with moss. The moss is also a great way to finish off the repotting because it's just a very inviting medium for these aerial roots. Once they start to grow from the stem of the orchid axis, or I forgot, what do we call this with monopodial orchids? You know, from this rosette, I don't know. I forgot the term. It's not that. But that's, where a bunch of aerial roots will come from, and when they have like inviting mix on top, they are gonna go into the pot because they will go towards the moisture. Now, of course, in order for that to work, you do need to keep that moist. Something I frequently fail to do. And that is your orchid repotted. We'll just put it in its beautiful cover pot and back in its spot on the cart. Beauty. All right, we have survived the cracks and the holes and the mold, which concludes this video. I think we got all the topics covered. Why am I holding the microphone like that? I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you're dealing with some winter issues. I'm dealing currently with mold in some of the pots, not with my mixes, though, actually, yes, with the mix that I made for those Hoyas in the back. Terrible, but we'll fix that with very, very wet windows. This is a tangent. I know there is this foil that you can tape on your windows, and it's supposed to help with the windows not sweating so much. I need that because I'm having a lot of issues with that, and it's very annoying. So if you have any recommendations, leave them down below. Don't know how I can get that from Amazon, but I really, really need that foil to cover my windows. I actually have to do now a bunch of cleanup. Let me know what you did while watching the video, if you did some plant chores. That is really it, all I have to say for today. Oh yes, an important announcement. Go listen to Rosalia's new album, Lux. I've been listening to that for almost a full week now, and I am obsessed. I knew about the name. I knew this artist existed. I never heard anything from Rosalia, and everyone on the internet was talking about this album. So I was like, okay, I doubt it's that good, but it is fantastic. Love it. Anyway, I'm gonna go clean this up, water the propagations, find a prop box, which is going to be a difficult task, and go for a evening stroll in the cold, cold winter. It is 2 degrees of Celsius outside. What a world, what a world, what a world. See you in the next one. Hopefully my project is not going to be a mystery for much longer. Hopefully you get to see that before the end of the year. Oh my gosh, the end of the year is coming. New Year resolutions, where are you at? What are going to be my New Year resolutions? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, I need to sign off. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day. Love ya all. Thank you for watching, etc. Bye! I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne Margaret Moen, Andrea Jerush, Angela Bernard, Angelina Farnan, Anna Malia, Anna P. Aspen Drake, Betsy Brett Noble, Katie Revert, Catherine Molina, Connie Pagano, Crystal Despain, Daniela Danube Daniels, Daria W, Deanne Sikorsky, Dwight, Edith W, Elena Saxon, Ellen Elora Graham, Farah, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geisig, Grositz Kyle, Hannah Matlin, Hoji Scott, Into the Forest, Yana Griffin, Jen C, Jessica Chio, Jody D. Gomez, Jonas Barhjorth Larson, Kara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Christy Ehrlich, Laura Castle, Al Lindberg, Lee Mooney, Lucas Zerchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Mary, Marisa Kova, Marina Yarmolich, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun-Roos, MJW, Moa Edmund, Miss Seidenhar, Anne Neely Yang, Nicole Maroney, Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette Olapogo, PJ Saig Zera, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca C, Renee Church, Sharon Bone, Sherry from SC, Starla Van Lith, Suvi Cortecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Vampire Siren, Van Alien, Xenia Green, Youth of the Volmud, Zaira Rivera, Zlokov Niponi, and A Flower. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Botany Benz, Cologne, Daryl Del Rosario, Deanna, Eden Corlett, Gia Rudolph Savarez, Holly Borner, Ivy, Joanna, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Maria Isabel, Monica Wikers, Nerdy Kathy, O'Here Plants, Ringlov Tang, Watan Nisria Cool, VH, and www.myhoya.shop. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Alice Borland, Ann C, Brandon Pacheco, Couture Helvetica, Deepanjali Rao, Amelia Bronson, Julie Sullivan, Julie Lafford, Kayla Babra, Kelly Ash, Kelly Gallagher, Chris Perez, Laura Jackson, Lori Ann Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Mary Diamond, Mary Rose, Neely Spicer, Nerdy Kathy, Olivia Chen Mueller, Pacific NW Plant Lady, Pax Slydig, and Steph Fox.